This thing behind me is what I believe to be the cheapest BMW e28 in the whole of Europe. Let's talk about it. So when I say cheapest, this car, I haven't even paid for it because my fiance bought it for me, but what she paid for it is definitely silly. So last year I saw the car sitting in a field like 3 minutes from my house, and it looked like it has been sitting there for a long time. Fast forward, I talked to the owner's son and he told me the car has been sitting for more than 15 years, which already was a red flag, but I kind of ignored it and kept asking questions. I asked if it was for sale and he said that taking the car would be a mistake even if his dad decided to give it to me for free. So later on he basically agreed to sell it for a little bit more than what a scrapyard would give him. So I went and checked, and if I were to scrape this car I would get roughly 250 euros. What my fiance paid for the car is 350 euros. So it's definitely extremely cheap, and even if I were to scrape the car tomorrow and sell the wheels, I would be making profit. Again, my fiance also bought me the wheels that are on the car. They're style 32 16s by I believe 7.5, and it's, in my opinion, the perfect size and style of wheel for a car like this. Let's go over the car. So it's a BMW e28, so a 5 Series. It's a 520i, so 2-liter engine, inline 6 cylinders, and the engine is completely seized. I tried turning it with a really long lever and there's no way of turning the engine over. But when we connected the battery, the windows worked, so at least we know there is power. The lights on the dash came up, so that's something. I already got another engine. The second engine was another 300 euros, so now I have an engine that's ready to go in. It's the exact same one, so M20B20. I want the swap to be easy because I have a really strict deadline on the car. Maybe later on I'll do a more interesting swap, but for now the stock engine will do. It's a 6-cylinder, the sound will be nice. It won't go fast, but I don't care. Other than the engine being seized, the car needs paint. It has a little bit of rust, but I was expecting a lot more. So the car has been sitting for 17 years in the field where I found it, basically without moving. It was just used as storage for random crap, and basically that's it. It was sitting there, not moving. And when I went to look at it, I started with the front, and underneath the front seems okay. It has leaks like any BMW, but no major rust spots. Then I went over the driver's side rocker panel and floor of the car, and I was shocked because everything was really clean, not a single spot of rust under there, which was honestly amazing, and I really got my hopes up. I went to the back was okay, there were a few small spots but nothing important. And then I got to the right side where basically the rocker panel on the inside is all rotten with full of holes, but it's just the inside of the rocker panel, not the outside. So it might be cheaper to fix than if everything was rotten, but I don't know, we'll see when I start stripping it. And it had a small hole in the passenger footwell, front right. But basically that's it, and it's definitely not too bad for a car that's been sitting on a field on just grass for 17 years. I was happy with that. I knew I could swap the engine. As I said, I already have it. I knew I could fix the rust. Also, as you can see, the front end is a bit dented, but I can get a replacement panel for really cheap, maybe 100 euros or something like that. Yeah, the car needs a lot of love, but it's definitely not too far gone, and it's even much better than I expected. So I'm really happy about that, and I can't wait to start building it. Now, the plan for the car is I have to drive it at my wedding, which is in 50 days. So I have 50 days to get this car running and presentable. We need to swap the engine, do the brakes, do the suspension, paint it, and clean the interior. Which is a lot, I know, but I don't know why I put myself in these situations, but anyways, this is what I have to do. Today I went and I picked up the first bunch of parts I ordered, so new rear brakes, new clutch, new water pump, I don't know what else, some other stuff. And I also put an order in for new front brakes, for new engine mounts, and I don't know, oil filters and stuff like that. Over the next week, I'm gonna start with doing first the brakes so the car can actually move because it's quite blocked, and then pulling the engine and throwing the new engine in. I'm probably gonna do most of the stuff here. When it comes to painting, I won't be painting this car because I had a bunch of nightmares with my Golf. There's a whole playlist on the channel about my Mark 1 Golf build, so if you're interested, go watch it. Anyways, when it comes to paint, I'm gonna do all the prep here and basically get it all ready and then find someone who can spray it in a paint booth because 1, I don't want dust in the paint, 2, I don't want to mess it up by painting it myself, and 3, I don't have the luxury of time if I do mess it up. So someone else is gonna take care of that and make sure it's okay. And yeah, I don't know, I need to source a bunch of other parts which I can't get new. Like I'm not able to find new bumpers, I need some new interior bits, and yeah, I don't know, it needs a lot of love. Also, except the wheel I have on the car, I have 2 more sets of wheels because, I don't know, I'm a hoarder. It's just wheels that came into my hands and I'm happy with it. They were next to free, so yeah, I got wheels. And basically that's it. So there's gonna be a new playlist on this channel of me building this car. Maybe it's not gonna be as in-depth as I would like it to be just because I'm really on a time crunch, but I'm gonna try to film as much as possible and put these video out through the next month and a half. This build is not gonna be a complete nut and bolt restoration, so for now the main thing is to get the car presentable and running so I can use it at my wedding. After the wedding I'm gonna be doing a bunch more stuff to it to actually make it a really nice car to drive and to own, because if I do make it to the wedding in this car, I'm probably not gonna be able to sell it ever, so I need to make it nice for myself. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for more videos about the E28. See you soon.